this recipe is for a Victoria scone. It's a slightly richer scone than normal, and you start off in the same way as you normally would. So I've got 250 grams of self-raising flour in my bowl, and I'm just roughly chopping 50 grams of butter or margarine to go into that. And then I'm going to rub the fat into the flour with my fingertips as you normally would to start a scone off. So the reason this is a slightly richer, slightly different scone is that it has an egg in the mix. So it's always a sweet scone, this Victoria scone. It has an egg in the mix, and we use a few glacé cherries to decorate. So keep rubbing in until you can't see any lumps of fat on the top. So just keep going until you can't see any large lumps of fat, and if you're not sure, remember, shake the bowl and any large lumps will come up to the top. So that's the fat to the flour, and then just before I go and wash my hands, I'm just going to tip in the 50 grams of caster sugar and just mix that through with my hands before I add the egg and milk mixture. So I'm just going to wash my hands off before I put the egg and milk in. Okay, the egg and milk for this, we still, because we've got 250 grams of flour, we still only want 125 mils of liquid. So in my jug I've got 1 egg, and I'm just going to make that up to 125 mils with a little bit of milk. So 125 mils of egg and milk there, and then same as you would normally do in scones, I'm just mixing these together. Same as you would normally do, you pour most of your liquid into the scone. So not quite all of it, most of it. Get your knife and stir to make a smooth dough. And you can see as you stir, the mixture will start to form together to make a dough. And once it's started, you can then get the mixture off your knife, put your hands in and knead that together until you have one dough. Okay, I've got a nice soft dough in my bowl, and all of the mixture has come away from the sides of the bowl. So as usual, a little bit of flour on your worktop, dough on your worktop. Just lightly knead that, doesn't need a lot of kneading, doesn't take a lot of kneading, so lightly knead that, put that there, and I'm just going to wash my hands. Okay, this mixture now needs to be divided into 3, so I'm just going to roughly divide this into 3 because this is going to make 3 larger scones. So you just knead lightly, turn it over, flatten a little bit, and that goes onto some baking parchment. So just get it into a ball, knead it lightly, turn it over, flatten a little bit, and onto your baking parchment. Don't want to knead this too much because we don't want to be working too much extra flour into this mixture. So I'm just going to quickly wipe that before I put the baking tray back into the middle of the worktop, so you can see the last bit better. There we go. So I have my 3 bits of scone, and I've also got some glacé cherries for this. These scones need to be brushed with a little bit of the leftover egg and milk before you do anything else. So just brush the tops with the egg and milk before anything else is done to these. And then sharp knife works better than a blunt one. We just need to slash the tops of these, and I'm going to mark these into 4. So I just want to mark these into 4 pieces so that as the scones rise, they are going to split down the middle. And then some glacé cherries just to decorate the top. 4, 5, 6. It's up to you. If you don't like the cherries, you don't have to put the cherries on. I'm going to put half a cherry on each quarter of the scone. You can use less than that if you like. It is entirely your choice. And then these go into the oven to cook. They're going to take between 15 and 20 minutes to cook on a slightly cooler oven than you would normally put a scone in. So these are going in on an oven at 180 degrees. So 180 degrees, gas mark 6, for 15 to 20 minutes. So when the Victoria scones are cooked, you're looking them to be risen. We can see that they've split open through the crack in the middle and all slid on that tray, but if I turn them over, they are nice and brown on the bottom as well, and they sound hollow. So those are your Victoria scones. You can eat them as they are, or you can break them apart and fill them with butter, just like normal scones.